as a driver, as an active driver, obviously, I've been a driver with you guys for over 6 years now with thousands of trips. So obviously, I have learned how to read the room, right? So I know when something is about to go sideways. So, you de-escalate, you do what you can do, but then in certain cases, you can't help it, right? So, and the tools I think you're about to introduce, I think will be greatly welcome. So you go ahead.
Yeah. Well, great. So let me first talk about recording, both audio and video. We know this has been a request from drivers as well as riders, by the way, for two reasons. A, when there is recording happening, it is an additional motivation for everyone to be on their best behavior, which is what we want when someone is in a ride. And then second, it is a source of truth when in case something goes wrong, then either party is able to share that with us. So two announcements on that front. One, for several years now in several parts of the world, we have launched audio recording. And the way audio recording works is whether on the driver phone or on the rider phone, it's available to both parties. They can actually opt to record audio. And that audio can you can start recording it right when the driver gets to the pickup point, all the way to about 20 seconds after the trip is over. Because sometimes, even for a few seconds after the trip is over, something could potentially go wrong. So we wanted to capture those moments. And the way these recordings happen is they're fully encrypted and saved on their individual phones, such that even they could not be retrieved even by the user. But in case there was a safety incident that they want to report to us, then they could attach that audio file with that ticket and they would send it to us. And then we would be able to decrypt that audio. We would be able to listen to it and we would be able to make a determination. Now, we are launching that audio feature to 6 new cities in the US tomorrow. And then also we are bringing video recording through the driver's phone, which has been a long-standing request from drivers. Many drivers, as you know, they use dash cams, they buy aftermarket dash cams, they put it in their cars. It works for many of them, but we have also heard that, look, these dash cams are expensive. Not everyone wants to put them in their car. And I think that solution works for some, but we also wanted to provide something that would be free and that would be available to everyone. And we have been working on that for a few quarters. And we are at a point where we want to start testing it. So we are launching it as a pilot. And again, the way it would work is in the driver's phone, they can turn it on. It's using their front-facing camera. Right. And as I mentioned about audio, it will get recorded. It will be encrypted and kept on the driver's phone and only shared with Uber in case that they want to share with us, there's a safety incident and we'll be able to view this. So it's a feature Sergio, I drive myself about not as frequently as you do, of course, but every 2 weeks I try to go out and I've tested this feature. I'm very excited about it. It worked really well when I tested it. So we're going to have several drivers in a few cities in the US who are going to be on that pilot program starting tomorrow.
Great. So actually, Andrew sent me the link. So I'm going to join you guys tomorrow for the New York City announcement of that. And I'm really looking forward to it because, at the RideShare Guy, we always recommend, regardless of what time of the day you're driving, right? You're dealing with other humans and, things do go wrong. Look, you guys did 1.87 billion trips last quarter. I follow your numbers. So I mean, things can and will go wrong if you're especially a full-time driver. So, and that includes accidents and passenger behavior and driver behavior as well. So what better way than, have some evidence to protect yourself against certain passengers that may have some different ideas. But I think turning the existing phone into a non-complicated device, I think is a great idea. And the concern that most drivers may have would be, some privacy issues. Like, let's say I'm about to push that button. I know things are going wrong for me in the car for this trip, right? Is it trip by trip on an individual basis? Or is it like, can I also record my whole shift? Let's say if I was going to drive for 8 hours, can I just record the whole shift? And then at the end, it either gets deleted because I'm not sure everybody's phone has enough of a, hard drive space to accommodate that.
That's an excellent question, Sergio. So we specifically asked that, and we got clear feedback exactly along the lines of what we were saying that, hey, I do not want to be seen as starting a recording in the moment on every trip or in the middle of a trip. So the way the feature is going to work, and of course, we're going to process the feedback from drivers and we'll tweak things as needed. But the way the feature would work now is you would opt in initially.
Okay.
And once you've opted in, we are actually going to automatically start recording the trip at the point of pickup all the way to 20 seconds after the drop off, as I mentioned earlier. So that's, you don't have to do anything, and it is just going to start recording.
Okay.
Now, at some point, if you want to not record anymore, you can opt out of the feature and then we won't record, but you don't actually have to take an action in the moment of. Now, the other thing that you mentioned in terms of privacy, we are going to be encrypting the file on the phone. So no one has access to it. In fact, even you don't have access to it. The rider doesn't have any access to it. And the only way for us to use that video is if you want to attach it with a ticket in case that there is a safety incident you're trying to report.
Do we still have to put, like, so, I mean, I do have a dash cams and I have to display that they're being recorded, the passengers are, right? So you have to have certain stickers. I mean, every state law is different, obviously. But in California, I'm in Los Angeles, I have to display stickers outside the car that they're about to enter a car that they're going to be recorded. So do you supply that to the drivers? Because it seems like, they're going to be recorded if they do opt in the whole shift, as long as they're driving. So how does that process work? Is it different city by city, state by state? How are you going to tackle that?
Absolutely. It is different city by city, state by state, generally state by state. We have single consent markets and all party consent markets. The test that we are launching tomorrow is in the single party consent markets. Okay. Where we can launch without necessarily having those stickers, even though we would recommend that that they should let their riders know. But what we are also doing in addition, in order to let the rider know, is because we know that a particular driver is recording the video, as soon as the match happens and the rider sees that Sergio is on his way to pick me up, they will also see a notification that this ride may be recorded. Okay, because we know who has video recording turned.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.